Last weekend, with the division championship in the bag and visions of the upcoming playoffs dancing in their heads, Raider fans enjoyed a little Yuletide frolic. Thanks to their 6-9 record, the Chargers weren't exactly sharing Los Angeles' holiday giddiness. However, a final game win would have made a very nice present. Number 82, Bobby Duckworth's touchdown gave San Diego a 7-0 lead. But like they've done all season long, the Chargers seemed more comfortable giving than receiving. Number 46, Todd Christensen, got just what he wanted for Christmas from the San Diego defense as he hauled in 8 passes, giving him an NFL-high 92 receptions. Running back Marcus Allen wasn't disappointed either as the Chargers helped gift wrap his first 1,000-yard season. Allen scored twice against San Diego, and quarterback Jim Plunkett added a scoring toss to Cliff Branch to boost the Raiders to an easy 30-14 win. While the Christmas season brought Santa Claus and a trip to the playoffs to Los Angeles, the city of St. Louis had a visitor of a different sort. The abominable snowman showed up in Busch Memorial Stadium, where he and the Cardinal defense teamed up to present Eagle quarterback Ron Jaworski with a holiday gift he'll likely never forget. Sacked an incredible 11 times, Jaworski had a miserable day in frigid St. Louis. On the other hand, Cardinal running back Otis Anderson romped through the white stuff with the heartiness of a little kid enjoying a snow day off from school. Anderson's touchdown helped St. Louis skate their way to an early 7-0 lead. As the snow piled up, so did the points, with the Cardinals burying the Birds in a blizzard of touchdowns. St. Louis defeated the Eagles 31-7 to finish the season 8-7-1. That's not good enough for a playoff spot, but considering their 1-5 start, the Cardinals certainly have plenty to be proud of. Last Sunday, in the biggest game of their history, the only thing standing between the Saints and a joyous Christmas were the LA Rams. And when the game began, Ken Stabler didn't find Los Angeles much of an obstacle. Stabler's first quarter touchdown pass to Jeff Groth gave the inspired Saints a 7-0 lead. However, New Orleans wasn't the only team with a lot on the line. A win for the Rams also meant a return to the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Number 80, Henry Ellard's 72-yard punt return touchdown put Los Angeles in the driver's seat. However, with the score only 9-7, this ride was far from over. In a roller coaster affair was the Ram defense, not running back Eric Dickerson, that kept Los Angeles in the lead or close to it. Number 21, Nolan Cromwell's interception touchdown was one of 2 second-half scores by the defense that gave Los Angeles a late 23-17 lead. In a game where unconventional scoring was the norm and not the exception, when running back George Rogers' fumble was recovered in the end zone for a touchdown by guard Steve Cordy, number 60, it appeared the Saints had locked up their first winning season. The Rams hadn't scored an offensive point all day, but with only 2 seconds left, trailing 24-23, kicker Mike Lansford gave it one more shot. Lansford's 42-yard field goal gave Los Angeles a 26-24 win. While the Rams are off to the playoffs, led by their rookie head coach John Robinson and rookie running sensation Eric Dickerson, the New Orleans Saints will have to take their 17-year-old dream of a winning season and place it back under the tree with the note, "Don't open till next Christmas." Last Sunday, 18 NFL teams packed up and headed home for the holidays. But before Falcon fullback William Andrews boarded the bus home, he wrote his name in the record book beside O.J. Simpson. Andrews became only the second player ever to gain over 2,000 yards rushing and receiving in a season, twice in a career. At the expense of the Buffalo Bills, Andrews caught 7 passes for 49 yards and added another 158 on the ground to bring his season total to 2,176. And number 31's 3 touchdowns were all Atlanta needed to crush Buffalo 31-14. While Andrews put on a one-man show in Atlanta, New York's Freeman McNeil, number 24, tried his best to do the same for the Jets in Miami. McNeil first caught a 20-yard touchdown pass from Richard Todd, then threw one to Marion Barber, number 31. But the Jets needed more than McNeil to beat the AFC Eastern champs. Miami quarterback Don Strock continued to fill in for Dan Marino in fine fashion, with touchdown passes to David Overstreet and Mark Duper, number 85. But this game belonged to a Dolphins substitute, strong safety Mike Kozlowski. Number 40 intercepted 2 Richard Todd passes in the final period and ran them both back for touchdowns. The 31-14 Dolphin win dropped the Jets to 7-9 as they finished the season as one of the year's major disappointments. 2 other teams struggling to break even for the year met in Minnesota. Over the second half of the season, the Cincinnati Bengals have been one of the league's strongest teams, but a series of crucial mistakes softened their finishing kick. A 95-yard kickoff return by John Simmons, number 25, was called back by a penalty. And when the Bengals fumbled twice in Minnesota territory, the Vikings capitalized to win 20-14 and finished the year at 500. The Washington Redskins still had something to shoot for in their season finale against New York. A win would ensure them of the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But in the first half, the lowly Giants looked like world beaters. An aroused New York defense sacked Redskin quarterback Joe Theismann 6 times and grabbed 4 interceptions, half as many as Theismann had thrown all season. With help from spectacular efforts by linebacker Lawrence Taylor, number 56, the Giants' offense capitalized on Redskin mistakes with 5 Ali Haji Sheikh field goals and a touchdown pass from quarterback Jeff Rutledge to Joe Morris for their 22 points. Rutledge threw for a career-high 324 yards, while Joe Theismann mustered just 50 yards in the first half, 17 of them on a scoring strike to Charlie Brown, number 87. Down by 5 points in the final period, the Redskins geared up for the stretch run. Joe Theismann beat a full blitz and hit wide receiver Art Monk for 34 yards and a first down at the Giants' 7. On the following play, Theismann found tight end Clint Didier in the end zone for the winning touchdown. John Riggins' record 24th touchdown finalized the score at 31-22, as the Redskins became the first defending Super Bowl champ to qualify for the playoffs in 4 years. For New York, it marked the end of a dismal campaign. A dark cloud hovered over the Giants throughout the year, and they must search long and hard for silver linings in a year that yielded 12 defeats. The climb to the top of the NFC Central has been one long uphill struggle for the Detroit Lions. The Lions began the season with just one win in their first 5 games. But by the time Billy Sims and his new 5-year contract bolted into the end zone against Tampa Bay last Sunday, Detroit had become champions of the division. Chicago's victory over Green Bay made the outcome of this game academic, but the Bucs refused to play the role of polite guests during Detroit's celebration party under the Silverdome. Jack Thompson threw for 373 yards and 3 touchdowns. But with the Bucs ahead 13-10 in the third quarter, defensive end Mike Kofer, number 66, took matters into his own hands. Kofer fought off 2 Tampa blockers en route to a sack of Thompson that stalled the Buck drive. After an injury sidelined starting quarterback Eric Hipple, Gary Danielson came on to lead a Lion comeback, hitting number 89 Jeff Chadwick with a game-clinching touchdown. The Lions edged out a 23-20 victory as they won their first division title of any kind since 1957. Their euphoria, though, could be short-lived. They may yet tackle the uphill task of facing the Redskins in Washington. Some teams will resort to just about anything to win a football game. Then again, when you're the Houston Oilers, possessors of just 2 victories all season, the end must sometimes justify the means. In Baltimore, though, even some sideline spying on the part of Houston couldn't detect what kind of espionage Colt cornerback Kim Anderson had planned for Oiler quarterback Oliver Luck. Anderson's 71-yard run with Luck's errant throw was Baltimore's only touchdown until the game's final minutes, when Mike Pagel connected with number 81 Pat Beach. 2 touchdowns proved to be too much for the inept Oiler offense to match. The Colts prevailed 20-10 for their 7th victory, laying claim to the title of one of the NFL's most improved teams of the season. One reminder that the 1983 season was drawing to a close could be found in Kansas City, where just about everyone in Arrowhead Stadium was wondering whether it was necessary to play the game between the Broncos and the Chiefs. But this is the NFL, where neither rain nor sleet nor even a wind chill factor of minus 30 degrees can keep its trusted guardians of the gridiron from their appointed task. A home field advantage in the wild card playoffs was on the line for Denver, but that slipped away as easily as the football slipped through John Elway's frozen fingers. After rallying the Broncos into the playoffs with consecutive victories, the new John Elway reverted back to the old John Elway, and suddenly the Broncos were moving the ball the wrong way. Lucius Smith's interception on the game's 3rd play was run back 58 yards for a touchdown. The Chiefs intercepted Elway 3 more times as the Arctic air put a definite damper on California John's style. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' Bill Kenny, who also hails from California, ignored the icy winds and zipped the ball through Broncos' defenses as if he was scrimmaging on a summery day. Kenny connected with number 88 Carlos Carson for this 58-yard first-quarter touchdown. Just 2 minutes later, Kenny was on the money again, this time to number 81, tight end Willie Scott. The Chiefs rolled up a 21-0 lead in the game's first 10 minutes and never looked back as they bombed the playoff-bound Broncos 48-17. Losing a game by 31 points is usually no way to prepare for the playoffs, but if playing in the chill is no Elway thrill, then meeting the Seahawks in the Kingdome may be a blessing in disguise for Denver. Images like this conjure up memories of Bart Starr burrowing in behind Jerry Kramer across the frozen tundra for yet another Packer title. But against the Bears, the new Packers bore little resemblance to those powerful Lombardi teams as Chicago left Green Bay out in the cold and out of the playoffs. Willie Gault, number 83, got the Bears on the board first, and in the seesaw battle, a determined effort by tight end Paul Kaufman set up the tying score for Green Bay. With a wind chill factor of minus 28 degrees, it was Jim McMahon barking out the frozen call near the goal line. Starr could only watch this time as McMahon carried the Bears to a 20-14 fourth quarter lead. This season, no one threw for more yards than Lynn Dickey, but none of those yards seemed as important as the 5 it required to hit Paul Kaufman for a 21-20 Packer lead late in the game. Green Bay appeared to be on the verge of their second straight playoff appearance. But with 10 seconds left, Bob Thomas put an end to the Packers' dream and to Bart Starr's tenure in Titletown. After losing 23-21, Starr said, "This is the most discouraging defeat I've ever experienced." After the loss, Green Bay's board of directors decided that 9 seasons under Starr were enough. It wasn't much warmer in Cleveland, but when the Browns and Steelers meet, the action always heats up. Four Brian Sipe touchdown passes, one to rookie Rocky Belk, number 88, paced Cleveland to victory in what could be described as an all-out war. Jack Lambert was ejected, one Brown was carried off in a stretcher, and hard hits served up on frozen turf were the order of the day. The battle ended decisively in Cleveland's favor as the Browns whipped up on their divisional rival Steelers 30-17. The good news for Cleveland was that they had won a critically needed season-ending game. The bad news was that they were eliminated from the playoffs. In order for them to have made the final 10, New England had to defeat Seattle. There was no way that that was going to happen to Chuck Knox's Hungry Hawks. Since entering the league back in 1976, Seattle had never made the playoffs. But on Sunday, quarterback Dave Craig set his sights on a wild card and number 80, Steve Largent. In the clutch, Largent is without peer, and his 7 catches for 133 yards were just the performance the Seahawks needed. Trailing 10-0, the Patriots struck back as Tony Eason found Derek Ramsey to cut the lead to 10-6. Some poor tackling allowed Ramsey to score, but that was about the only lapse on defense that the Seahawks suffered. The defense forced 3 Patriot turnovers, while the offense produced 0 turnovers and 24 points. Kurt Warner became the AFC's rushing champion, and number 33, Dan Dornick, produced a key third-quarter score as Seattle nailed down its first postseason berth ever, 24-6. Ten teams now remain in the race to Tampa Bay, but you can bet that Chuck Knox and his young Seahawks are the happiest of all. Now we'll get to see what they're really made of when they host Denver in the first round of the playoffs.